Okay, so now next in the shop, what we got is Kevin's Razor 570. Haven't seen it in a few vids just because it's been running great. Haven't needed to do anything to it, but you know, it's always time for a little upgrade. So he wants to add the door speakers like I put in mine, and we're gonna kind of overhaul some other little things. We're gonna put a new belt in. I noticed one of his U-joints in the rear to the drive shaft, or the drive shaft to the rear. The one closest to the transmission was pretty beat up, so there's a lot of slack. Gonna replace that, put a new Gates belt in there while we're at it, but I wanted to just film this part real quick before I get too far into it. The new RCAs, we're gonna double amp. I'm gonna daisy chain 2 amps together, so he's gonna have a separate amp to run his door speakers, bigger power wire, and he's gonna run LED lights around his speaker rings if they turn out the way we want. So, gonna start tearing this all down and start doing some wiring diagrams. Okay, just to give it a little bit better understanding now, what we're doing is, like I said, we're adding a second amp in conjunction with this one so we can get his door speakers off of this one and these 8s off of his Wet Sounds HD4 up there. So all the wiring, I mean, we got a Bluetooth, a volume knob, obviously the jetting over to this other amp. We're gonna run distribution blocks up into the ceiling here. This amp's gonna be mounted up behind this one. Should be cleaning up pretty nice. Right now we're just running wires. I am running a bigger power wire, like I said. Along with that, his U-joint for the rear transmission. Drive shaft was, you know, it's not like his front transmission, like I just said. Anyways, it's his U-joints got a bunch of slack in it, so we're changing that out. Changing out his belt while since we got to take off the belt cover anyways. That, and he also, because he thought he was going to have to put the amp kind of to the left or right of that, he ended up getting those Longhorn fabrication lowering seats or brackets for the Razor 1000 seats. So not only did it lower it, what was it, 1.5 inches? Yeah. 1.5 inches lower. It also put it at a little bit of a angle on it. He's already done one. We'll film the second one, but it is a nice upgrade. Everything, it feels just like a factory seat, and it's also, you don't have to modify anything else for it to fit. So that's what we're doing with this round. A lot of wiring, a lot of figuring out. That's kind of what we did here. We already just tested it out. Everything's working fine. So now we got to go and obviously clean up and install everything. Next, we are on to trying to get his belt box off here. The fun of silicone. Go ahead, go. I'm trying. I'm gonna put you on a time lapse. Got Troy here. Got Kevin here. Oh man, here we go. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my goodness, silicone. But look at that belt.
Actually saved my...
Look, no dirt in there. No dirt. That's belt dust. There we go. Now pop his primary off and get this drive shaft out. Okay, so a lot has been going on while nothing's been going on. Just anyways, got the belt off, all that clutching off, trying to run wires here and everything. Finally got some wires ran. Got a new ground on there with the new cable on there. That's gonna get grounded out to right there. We got little small RCA couplers to go from there to there. Next, gonna pull out the center console to get the drive shaft out. But like I said, it's a lot of routing, running, and kind of just boring stuff from now on. So, I mean, and you can see how much help Kevin is. So after pulling up pretty much everything here, Kevin's got a two-wheel drive because we pulled that drive shaft out. You had to take off like the brake distribution block and the belt and clutches, and then slide it out back that way. So that's done. I didn't film much on his amp setup, but it is all done. Like I said, we got an extra amp over here now. This is going to be pushing the door speakers. This is 300x2 Rockford Fosgate amp, and this is his Wet Sounds HT4. He does have, he just added the volume knob on there with the Fusion Bluetooth on there, so it's got kind of a lot going on here. Didn't film much because it's just a bunch of wires running and routing and trying to make them look semi-neat compared to everything he's got up here. So, I mean, everything between the lights, in between the LED rings, the speakers, the reverse light, both amps. What else? Volume knob, Bluetooth, everything. I mean, there's just a lot of wiring going on here. If I ever have to, like, for some reason have to redo everything, I'm putting distribution blocks and fuse panels and everything else up here, and also to go along with his block there. So that's where we're at on this. I'm gonna get ready to do the drive shaft U-joints now. So I'll be honest, I've never changed out a U-joint, but this one is pretty bad. So I mean, I know the concept of it. You got to take, you know, the clips out, push it through one way, push back the other. Same with the other side. So I'm gonna get ahead and start. And that I have already been spraying it down with some lube. So I got his old U-joint completely apart, and it is not greasable anywhere. And that is how it all looked. So yeah, definitely needed it. What's really nice about this new one too is that it does have a grease zerk that can be screwed into there, and so this will now be greasable. And I don't know if anyone really knows it or cares, but the drive shaft on the 570, even though it is bottlenecked back down, is way thicker and beefier compared to the other ones. So it's the thickest drive shaft I've seen on one. So there's everything. Got the old out, now going back in with the new. Got one U-joint in, got the 45-degree grease zerk on there so it can be easily greased when it's up on the drive shaft. Okay, and so like I said, this is the factory seat installed in the 570 Razor. It does lower it quite a bit. We are kind of close to the speaker here. All I have to do is just slide that speaker back. It is the speaker problem, not a bar. This is an aftermarket cage. Speakers are not involved with whatever you do. So don't let that hinder what you see or what you do. Right now, we are pressed up against the seat quite a bit. Just do have to bend the speaker back, like I said, and it'll make room for it. The speaker, like I said, is not part of it. So it is installed though. Your seat does mount to the bracket just nicely, very, very nicely. Nice brackets, nice everything. To unlatch it, because it is latched in right now, you just push down to unlock the tab, slide it over, up, and then over, and that unlatches it. So now you can release it. Push back down, lock it in, slide this bar over, down, over, and it's locked into the tab right there. Now you can't see that hardly, but I showed you another part of the video. So now it is locked in. Here's what the door is installed. It's a great little system. Go ahead and get these for 120 or 175. I really have no clue what they go for. But yeah. Picking back up with Kevin's, doing a little bit of a brake job on all of them. He went back with the Polaris brake pads, so we'll see if that actually holds up a little bit better. Doing his door speakers, or finishing up with his door speakers. Got that one, just got to drill some mounting holes. This one is all done over here. All his bolts are in, siliconed up. Just got to put some lume on the wiring. But yeah, turned out nicely. Drive shaft is all back in. What else? He's cleaning up his belt box over here. And so that's all nice and cleaned up now, because he did go with the OMC gasket. So we're not going to use silicone, we're not going to use grease. We're going to try out this gasket, because if it does actually work the way it should be, it turned out pretty nice. I don't think I can use it on mine just yet, because my belt is a little bit warped. My belt box is a little bit warped. But he's still new, good to go. Oh, we'll get back. Boom. Grab your cover. Throw it on there. Kind of pre-seated in there like that. And then we'll tighten down his clutches and put his belt on. Throw down all the holes and hopefully this does its job.
I hope so too.
Yep.